As a massive Sonic the Hedgehog fan, I have a lot to say. Now, there's a lot of things going on with Sonic right now that are very controversial, and I'm going to get to that. But in this video, I want to talk about something that's been neglected pretty much the whole time Sonic has existed. Why was the comics always never intertwined with the video games? It pisses me off so much, and I know I'm not alone with this. There's so many loyal Sonic fans that love the Sonic comics and the original cartoon from '93. They did so much more better stories in the comics than they did in the games. You know, the games are always, there's too much of the same thing with the games. It's always just Eggman's the villain, every game. The same kind of levels, every game. But the comics introduced, like, so many other villains they fought. It had all these, like, really charming characters. And I want to talk about one of those today, Sally Acorn. Like, there's a lot of things going on with Amy right now. And I agree with other Sonic fans that her star has risen over the years. I adore Amy Rose, like, I love Amy Rose. But I also love Sally Acorn. And Sally Acorn, you know, I'm sorry, but she's a better character than Amy Rose, and she always was. Amy is a charming character. You know, she had her moments in the cutscenes of, like, the adventure games where she was charming and all that, and she had funny moments in the cutscenes of, like, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, and Sonic Heroes and shit like that. But Sally Acorn is a more developed character. She does more. She's more of a badass. She's a leader. She's good with technology. She's done so much more with Sonic. And Amy and Sally and Sonic are in the comics together. Amy is a wonderful character. She's a charming character, but she's just a Sonic fangirl. She's like an anime-esque, just like a Sonic fangirl kind of character. And Sonic is not in love with Amy. And despite all, like, you know, people thinking that because there was some episode in Sonic X where he said he loved Amy. Yeah, I guess he said it one time to her. But Sally and Sonic had fucking kids in the comics, guys. Like, they were actually both, like, madly in love with each other. They built up the storyline of Sally and Sonic so well and made them like a power couple and all that. Sonic is not interested in Amy as like a girlfriend. Yes, he like cares about her, but it's not like the other way around. It just pisses me off that Sally and the Knothole Village gang from the comics and stuff, the Freedom Fighters, it pisses me off that they never used them more in the games. There's always been this heated debate in the Sonic fan base about the canon of Sonic. Back in the day, the comics was considered part of the canon of the games. Yes, there was some debate, but it was mostly the same. Why? Because, you know, Sally actually appeared in 2 Sonic games. Her first game appearance was in Sonic Spinball, and actually all the other Freedom Fighters appear in the game too. In the pinball stage, when you break open the glass, and there they are. So that's Sally's first game appearance. And then her second game appearance, and I'm going to explain why I feel like this counts, is Sonic CD. Yes, she technically does not appear in the actual game, but she does. Sally is mentioned in the manual for Sonic CD. That's right. So that technically makes her part of the game, technically, because she's part of the story. And it wasn't some accident. It was on purpose. Other fans are like, oh, it was an accident. It wasn't an accident. They did it on purpose because the American version of Sonic, they wanted to make it Sally. Sally was Sonic's girlfriend, not Amy Rose. Guys, not Amy Rose, it was Sally in the United States. They basically said that the pink character in the cutscenes of Sonic CD was Sally Acorn in the United States. I think that's really cool. You know, what they really should do is make a new Sonic game, put Sally in it, and then have Sally and Amy interact with each other, and you as the player, like, there comes a point in the game where you get to decide who you want to be with, Amy or Sally. And that'd be really cool because that's one of the things fans have always debated over the years, is who should Sonic really be with. And it could be up to you as the player. I think that'd be really interesting. Sally would be an excellent addition to the games. Just how Amy and Sally were able to coexist perfectly great in the comics with Sonic, literally the same exact thing can happen in the games. There's fucking no good reason why it shouldn't. And there's another thing I want to say, and I know this is going to offend some people, but I'm sorry, I have to say this. If you're a fan of the comics, then you're a bigger Sonic fan than people that are just fans of the games. Like, it's cool if you're a fan of the games, but a bigger Sonic fan is a fan of the comics and the games. Like, I love Sonic. I don't just love Sonic for the gameplay. I love Sonic as a character. I love Sonic's world. So I'm interested in everything they do with the character, not just the games. Sonic was always a character that had such booming potential to do so much more with him and his world than just the games. You can put him in movies, you can put him in cartoons, you can put him in comics, you can do all this stuff with him. He's not just meant to be a video game character. And you know, all these arguments like, well, the comics aren't canon to the games because Sonic started off as a game character. Yeah, I mean, but here's the problem, okay? The Sonic comic series debuted in 1993. That's only 2 fucking years after the first game. That's extremely close to the very beginning of Sonic coming into existence. So that should count. And Sally wasn't just in the cartoon and the comics and had 1 appearance in the Sonic Christmas special and 2 video game appearances. She also appeared in merchandise too. They even made a fucking statue of Sonic and Sally together, an official fucking statue. A whole thing of Sonic and Sally together at the Sega World thing that they used to have in the 90s. And they made a plushie of her, like other merchandise too, and she was on like the cards to enter the park or whatever. Sega viewed Sally as being important. She wasn't just this dumb character from the comic books that doesn't matter. No, Sally mattered to Sega when Sonic was in the 90s. She was an important character. She was built up as an important character. And they tried to incorporate her into the games. She was relevant. Over the years, especially when they made the adventure games, all of the Sonic games, they all could have been 10 times better if they included the stories and the characters from the comics and the cartoons in the games. They all could have been 10 times better. I'll give you guys a perfect example. Do you guys remember like the test tube in Sonic Adventure where it had Metal Sonic in there? And it also had another test tube with a black Metal Sonic. And he had like machine guns for hands. And we were always like, what a mysterious other Metal Sonic character. Is he going to appear in any more installments of the games? And he never did. But guess what? In the comics, after Sonic Adventure came out, they actually put that black Metal Sonic character in the comics. And he fought Sonic in Station Square. How amazing is that? And that's what I'm talking about. They took an element from something and expanded upon it and made it better in the comics. All that shit should have happened in the games. And here's another thing I'm pissed off about when it comes to canon and like the characters, is this whole argument where it's like, oh, Sonic has too many characters, too many dumb animal characters. How could you say that? So how the fuck are you a Sonic fan if you're going to say some shit like that? So what do you think? It should just be Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles and Amy and that's it? Just the same fucking 4 characters over and over and over again?